This week we're going to be taking a look at scooters, but not just any old scooters. We're going to be riding maxi scooters. And what on earth is a maxi scooter? Well, think of bikes and superbikes. This should really be a super scooter, but they call it maxi scooter, probably because some Frenchman or Italian started the whole craze that way. And that's what stuck. Maxi scooter, and the newest on the scene is BMW's C600 Sport. For just over 100,000 rand, about 110, 112 grand, you get BMW's latest incarnation of all its technology in a maxi scooter. So that means loads of gadgets, loads of performance, which I presume means BMW has gone straight to the top of the class.
If I may, there is more than one way of skinning a cat, and this is the Italian way. This is the Aprilia SRV 850. It's about the size of an oil tanker, but it's got much more power than the BMW, and it's got to be better. So as is plain to see, this is definitely the new king of the castle.
Not so fast. What we have here is the Yamaha T-Max. Now, the T-Max was the first of the maxi scooters. It's the longest running maxi scooter, and every year it's been the best maxi scooter. So these two amateurs just gonna have to play catch up. The Yamaha T-Max. Now, small problem, it's 530cc, which is a bit down in the Aprilia and the BMW. But if you look, we're at Red Star Raceway, a place for sports, a place for motorsports, and their weight is everything. Where these other two weigh 250 kilograms, this only weighs 200 kilograms, which is very sporty. Plus, keep in mind, this is the only scooter that is actually raced. Yes, in a mental asylum called Italy, they race these. A company called MAXI puts a whole lot of kits on them and they race them. Now, 530cc is still not the greatest, but in the global world of scooters, this is still damn quick. In fact, the people at Yamaha say that they've seen as much as 200 kilometers per hour on the speedo, which is amazing because the speedo only goes up to 180. And over here, you have a little loading thing, which has a limit of 150 grams, which means that you can, 170 grams, never mind. While it's not the fastest, it's just so effortlessly smooth. The throttle reaction is amazing. As you start cracking open that throttle, the engine just comes to life, everything works. So when you're in a corner, you can just carry so much corner speed. The more you lean, the more it just seems to say, give me more, give me more. Anyway, so in conclusion, quite frankly, if you want a scooter that's sporty, I mean really sporty, I mean take around Red Star Sporty, you want this. The original Yamaha T-Max.
If you're thinking that the Aprilia looks familiar, well, you've obviously been smoking something, because whilst it has been based on the outgoing GP800 Gilera, it's been completely rebodied and rebadged. It develops one more brake horsepower than the Gilera, which is a good thing, because I've got to say it's a bit of a porker. Weighing in at 250 kilograms, it's at least 20 kilograms heavier than the BMW. Price-wise, well, we can't tell yet because the bike's only going to be announced or released in 2013, probably February. But if the UK market is anything to go by, the Aprilia is a good £2,000 cheaper than the BMW, so expect maybe some kind of similar discount here. As mentioned, it does develop a lot of power, which is just as well because it is heavy. It goes like a steam train in a straight line, and to bring it to a halt, these natty Brembo brake calipers. The chassis might not be one of the quickest steering around, but given the wheelbase, that's not very surprising. But it does handle very well and very smoothly, if not grounding a little bit too quickly with a bit of vigorous cornering. Overall, though, it's a very comfortable, very large armchair, which goes very fast.
If you had a childhood anything like me, you'll have no doubt grown up listening to your old man say, never buy a Mark I of anything, son. You'll live to regret it. Well, that's not quite so true anymore, is it? Think of BMW and all of its Mark Is in its recent history has been making some fabulous bikes at the first attempt. This may be BMW's first maxi scooter. Let's forget the C1, the silly one with the roof. That didn't really catch on, did it? So, as a first attempt, buy with utter confidence. It's a BMW. They get things right the first time. And there's no mistaking that they've done exactly that with the C600 Sport. What's the standout aspect for me about the BMW? Well, in comparison to the two other maxi scooters here, the engine is a real peach. It may not be the most powerful, but I think it's actually the most responsive through the mid-range, and it revs up a lot quicker as well. It's actually a pleasure to use, but I also have to admit it's a little bit vibey and sounds a little bit tractory at idle. But perhaps more impressive than the engine is the overall handling package. This thing absolutely loves corners, and here at Red Star, well, we got plenty of those. And it's pretty easy to see that the BMW is the easiest to get on and ride fast, is the quickest at turning direction, and has got the most lean angle. No issues about ground clearance here. And BMW have always got more gadgets than anyone else, and this might be a scooter, but that truism still holds true. So it's great in the city, you can tour on it. I don't even know why we bothered bringing the other two scooters, to be honest. So, gentlemen, we've all made our cases for our relevant scooters, and I think you'll agree it's patently obvious that the BMW is quite simply the best maxi scooter.
Oh, rubbish.
Well, you've obviously been smoking something, so...
And you don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And you're what? What? Arguing. I go, right, there's only one way to solve it. Let's ride each other's scooters and then you can tell me the BMW's best. Deal?
Okay.
Deal. Okay.
One of the great privileges of this job is the chance to hop from a model directly onto one of its competitors. It's the only way to really feel the differences. Even riding them a day apart can confuse any useful comparisons. So I know, with just a couple of minutes playing, sorry, my mistake, after endless hours of testing, I realised that, jammily, I've ended up with the very best of a very good bunch. I know Harry and Donovan must be feeling the same things too, and despite appearances, they're not complete idiots, so whether they want to admit it or not, everyone knows the score.
OK, we've now all had a chance to ride each other's scooters, and like I said before, it's patently obvious the BMW is the best one. However, I would like to point out some of the weaknesses on the others. Your Aprilia, where's the ground clearance gone? Nice handling,
Where's the speed on yours? In fact, where's the speed on yours? It's like a
Excuse me, have you seen my bike through the corners? It rocks.
No, because it's always behind. Yeah, exactly.
Tell me your BMW, what is all that rubbish on there? A whole lot of stuff that's just going to go
technology
wrong.
and modern life.
How much of it did you use on that lap?
I noticed someone kindly put on my heated seat and grips for me.
That wasn't me.
OK, weaknesses. Your Yamaha used to be the big boy, isn't it anymore. No power, too slow, looks great, sorry.
It's a bit slow.
Aprilia, too expensive, I think it's going to be.
But it's bloody fast.
Bloody fast, yeah, I must admit. OK.
And yours is...
OK, the worst you can say to me is it's got too many gadgets.
And it sounds like a tractor.
It does.
And it sounds like a tractor.
And it's just too good to be true.
So we're unanimous then. Which is the best scooter?
Mine.
Mine.
OK, I see the argument is still continuing with no hope of any kind of resolution whatsoever.
No.
So I propose 3 tests. Braking, acceleration, fast lap.
How about top speed, acceleration, and...
How quick you can go in a circle.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always a
I'll
great
do
help.
your burnouts.
You're a great help, Harry.
There you go.
Thanks.
I'll
thanks.
win all 3.
If you could just be quiet for a moment.
Thanks.
We're going to start those tests right now.
We've all done them, and they're a great way to settle arguments. And if you've got Aprilia power, they're a great chance to show off. All are fully auto, just twist and go. The Aprilia gets off the line particularly well. Then Italian V-twin power finishes the job. Slightly cocky Fabian Foray look over the shoulder from Harry. And the final pecking order is never really in doubt. In case you are doubtful though, Harry kindly reminds us all of the results. Hit the brakes as hard as I dare. From 80 k's an hour and see what happens. Which is this.
I don't need to say much more, do I? Both of the big other maxi scooters, neither of them have got ABS. This does, and when I'm braking hard, knowing that you can squeeze the front and you're never going to wash it out, that's what makes the difference. The Yamaha still stopped quicker than the other thing, but it's...
You weren't pulling the lever properly.
Well, explain how to...
You were like that with your little finger. Oh, it's not stopping. It's not stopping.
The 3 bikes are there. Would you like to take them yourself?
Not really.
OK. I guess the result stands then. So, we've each made a case for our favourite maxi scooter, and we couldn't arrive at a decision. We've each ridden each other's maxi scooters and pointed out what's wrong with them, and still can't arrive at a decision. So, we've had a couple of dynamic tests. Aprilia, biggest engine, fastest accelerating, no surprise there. BMW, ABS, best brakes, stop the quickest, no surprise there. So you'll just have to wait until after the break when we get back to the studio and we'll try and come to some sort of conclusion.
Let's remind ourselves what we've been testing. Yamaha's T-Max, Aprilia's SRV 850 and BMW C600 Sport. Now for some lap times. Not very rapid getaways from any of them, though the Aprilia obviously has the edge. First test is braking for turn 1, so just get the rear tyre squealing a bit and then you know there's not much more to come. All of these scooters have fantastic high-speed stability, but they're not all equally agile. That prize goes to the BMW.
Waiting a while, I think. Oh, there he goes.
More heavy braking, a comparative weak point for the SRV. As is the centre stand's limit on lean angle. The T-Max has a really sorted front end, so it's quite easy to get carried away and run in a bit hot. The BMW can hold tighter lines everywhere. But the amazing thing is that none of these scooters feels even remotely out of its depth at a circuit. They all handle well enough to make a track day a genuinely entertainingly viable option. With all of them easily topping 160 k's an hour, they could surprise a few people on the straights too. Foot out isn't a style, by the way, it's fear. And as you can see, my fear threshold is quite low. Wind it on for the final sprint to the line and the anxious wait for the timekeeper's final verdict.